Yo, what's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Detroit, and this is the Keeping It Raw podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And also, guys, make sure you hit that like button. It's free, and it don't cost you a thing. All right, guys, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the DeAndre Swift conundrum in Detroit. Now, going off into the offseason, now we know right now currently the Detroit Lions are fighting to get into the postseason, and hopefully they'll be able to get in there. They're going to need some help from the LA Rams to be able to get in there, and then they're going to have to also win out as well. So it's going to be a tough thing for the Lions to be able to do, but they'll know if they're in the postseason anyway. If the Rams are able to beat the Seattle Seahawks, then the Lions, all they got to do is handle their business, and they'll be in the postseason. Now, it's going to be a tough game for the Lions initially because they've got to go to Green Bay and play that game. But, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully the Lions will be prepared and ready to go. Now, the DeAndre Swift conundrum. Basically, you know, DeAndre Swift is one of those players that's very, very talented. He's one of those guys that's explosive. He's a guy that is able to take it all the way to the house. And he's just crafty with the football in his hands. And he's able to catch out of the backfield. He has elite pass catching ability out of the backfield. And those are the things that you love about DeAndre Swift. Now, he does have 1 year remaining on his contract, which means his contract is not over into 2024. And then you're talking about all the injuries that DeAndre Swift has been able to go through, whether it's been shoulder, whether it's been ankles, whatever it's been. DeAndre Swift is pretty much keeping him off the field and not allowing him to be able to hit the goals that he would like to hit for the ball club. Now, DeAndre Swift came into the season wanting to be able to rush over 1,000 and to be able to catch over 1,000. Now, he's capable of doing it, but his body has not just been able to hold up and allow him to do it. You know, I definitely think that he's able to be a guy that could rush for 1,000 and be able to catch out for 1,000 as well. But the injuries have really played a part in DeAndre Swift not being the type of player he could be for the Detroit Lions. And ultimately, it's going to leave the Lions with some decisions to make, you know, whether or not they want to bring him back or whether they want to trade him. What do they want to do with DeAndre Swift going forth? That's going to be key and vital for the team. Now, they could opt to keep Swift. They do not have to do anything. They can just keep him. And I think that they could make him a number 2 running back. Now, whether or not Jamal Williams gets a contract extension, I do not know. I believe that Jamal Williams is 27 years old, so he's pretty much in his prime. And when the draft comes around, Jamal will be about 28 years old. So he's in his prime right now. So, and he's having a career year. So definitely that is something to think about as well. The Lions could opt to resign Jamal Williams on maybe a 2-year deal or something like that and bring him back. And then the rest of the running backs on the teams are pretty much free agents. I think Craig Reynolds is a restricted free agent. And then you got Justin Jackson, who is a free agent. So pretty much I think the only running backs that the Lions have under contract is DeAndre Swift and Greg Bell. If they still have him, they might have cut part ways with Greg Bell. But going into the offseason, this is something that the Lions are going to have to take a look at, whether or not they want to bring DeAndre Swift back or do they want to use him as a number 2 scat back. Because pretty much if you look at the Lions and the relationship that DeAndre Swift has with the team right now, he's been used as a scat back. He's been used as a scat back more than a number 1 running back. DeAndre Swift has been getting the touches of a scat back. So if the Lions want to be able to bring him back at being a number 2 running back, I think that they could. They also could opt to draft a younger running back in the draft. Currently, you know, a lot of names have been thrown out there. Guys like Bijan Robinson. Definitely, I think that Bijan Robinson will be a great addition to this team and an elite running back. I think Bijan is only 20 years old. I think he'll be 21 when he's drafted. But yeah, a younger guy that can come in and be the number 1 running back. If you can upgrade a position on the team, you always want to upgrade. You know, you always want to be able to upgrade the position. And this is no knock to DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams, because Jamal Williams has been balling. And definitely I think that he should be able to get a contract extension, but it's totally on the Lions on what direction they want to go going forth. Do they want to pay? What type of money is Jamal Williams going to be looking for? And then so the whole situation has to work out. But with DeAndre Swift, he's still on the football team technically. He still has a year left, and the Lions could opt to just keep him as a number 2 running back and use him as a scat back and draft a running back. Draft a guy like a Bijan Robinson, guys like a Zach Charbonnet, Dwayne McBride. Also, you got guys like Tarjay Sharp from Tulane. I'm just naming a couple running backs that's out there. You also have Sean Tucker from Syracuse, who kind of reminds me of Nick Chubb a little bit. So you got valuable options out there that you can what you can do in the draft. So it is totally going to depend on what the Lions think about DeAndre Swift going forth, because these are the decisions that you have. When you're a GM and you get with the team in the offseason, these are the conversations that they have. They talk about who's going to come back, who they're going to let walk. So either you're going to bring them back or they're going to walk. And I think with DeAndre Swift, in his case, you could bring him back and allow him to be the number 2 guy if you decide to draft the running back. But then if you decide to bring Jamal Williams back, then you could do that as well and still get you a running back in the later rounds. A lot of people say that they don't really value the running back like they used to, but there's certain guys out there that have elite ability. And if you can get that guy and you can draft him, why not? What I'm saying? I know that the Lions need defensive players, but if you can grab a Bijan Robinson, why not? If you can grab a guy like Bijan Robinson, bring him a part of the team and allow him to be the RB1, then why not do it? Now, I'm not saying that the Lions are going to draft Bijan Robinson, because their concerns is more so defensively. But in a draft that the Lions are not going to draft all defensive guys. That's not going to happen. It's going to be maybe they may grab a guard or something like that to go on the line. Maybe they may grab a receiver. I don't know, but that they're not going to draft every single player is going to be a defensive guy. So, and especially, and if they did draft all defensive guys, all those defensive guys would have to find a way to be able to get into the rotation and try to make the team as well. So there's a lot, when you're saying when you're drafting guys, because not every guy that you draft is going to start or even be in the rotation at times. So the DeAndre Swift thing is this. If you're the Detroit Lions, you could opt to keep DeAndre Swift and make him a part of this team still. I don't see anything wrong with it. DeAndre Swift is a talented football player. The only thing on DeAndre Swift is that he can't stay healthy. And if you can't stay healthy and you're not durable and you're not reliable in that way, then I'm going to have to get a number 1 running back. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. If you can't stay on the field, I have to get somebody that's going to be reliable and somebody that's going to be durable that I can make the number 1 running back. So the Lions do not have to take a running back either in this draft class. They could just opt to keep all the guys that they have. But when you're a GM, your job is to get the team in the right direction and to make the team better. And if that means I got to pick up a Bijan Robinson from Texas, if I got to pick up a Sean Tucker from Syracuse or UCLA's running back Zach Charbonnet, if I got to pick up one of these guys, I do it. I make the move. Any way to get my football team to be over the edge and be cutting edge in the next season, because that's what you want truly. Give everything that you can to make this team and surround this team with talent. The Lions do have talent on their team, but if they can put this thing together, I'm telling you, man, skies is going to be the limit and the future is going to be really bright in Detroit. So Detroit has to really, really hone in on what do they want to do with the running back situations, because all the other running backs are free agents. They don't have to bring back Jamal. They don't have to. They could opt to go in a different direction. They don't have to bring back Justin Jackson, who has been playing nice for the Lions. And pretty much Craig Reynolds is the odd man out all of a sudden now. And a lot of us love Craig Reynolds. So this is going to be interesting, man, to see what the Lions are going to do with DeAndre Swift and what the Lions are going to do with the rest of the running backs. Will they sign Jamal Williams back and the rest of these guys? I can't wait to see what's truly going to happen. If you have the opportunity to upgrade the roster, you upgrade the roster. There's no ifs and buts about it. If you got the opportunity to upgrade the roster, that's what you do. So definitely, man, I think that it's going to be a decision based upon with DeAndre Swift with his injury history. I think the Lions are really, really going to take a look at that. And I think that the Lions, ultimately, at the end of the day, they still got a lot of love for DeAndre Swift, and they want to see him definitely do well with this team. But at the same time, I think it's going to come down to the love of the player or producing out on the football field. It's either you're going to have a love for the football player, DeAndre Swift, or you're going to have a love for him producing. And that's what it's all about in the NFL. They don't care about anything else. Is whether or not you're producing out on the football field. And if you're not reliable, you're not durable, then you're going to be replaceable. And we know that running backs are a dime a dozen, and they don't really value running backs like they used to. But you know, once the playoff comes, you know the guys that's going to get the most touches are the running backs, because they want to make sure that they can game manage the game and make sure that they're eating up clock as well. So, man, this is going to be an awesome offseason, man, for the Detroit Lions. I'm so happy for the way the team is playing and the direction that they're headed. Finally, this thing is starting to look good, and it's starting to make sense. And now you only need to go out and get missing pieces to the team and just keep building upon what you need to build on. Yes, the Lions ultimately can go out and get a defensive tackle, maybe a defensive end, maybe definitely got to grab you some linebackers. I still think that that's a priority need on this team, is having stud linebackers to play along with Malcolm Rodriguez. Also, you need maybe a corner and a safety as well. So, definitely, man, there's some things that the Lions could do before they opt to grab a running back. But the conundrum with DeAndre Swift is that he's a good football player at times, and then there's times where he just can't get on the field, and he's not durable and he's not reliable. So all of that is going to have to go into full effect to see if the Detroit Lions ultimately, at the end of the day, want to keep DeAndre Swift a part of this team and make him the number 2 running back on this football team. All right, you guys, this is Raw Detroit, and I'm out of here. Till next time, peace.